Our next speaker is Gary Frazier, Jr. of the Camden Comeback. Gary Frazier is the founder and operator of the Camden Comeback, who educate, raise awareness, and express need for change. The Camden Comeback is a political action committee that was established to address all local and state affairs that directly and indirectly affect the political, social, educational, economic, and social development of the citizens of Camden, New Jersey.
Thank you. So I want to say hello to everybody here.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing to follow behind that keynote speaker. I'm going to do my best. One of the purposes of me having this forum here today was to begin the process, like I said, of linking Patterson, Newark, Trenton, and also Camden together. I mean, the fights that we face here in New Jersey, period, usually stem around the same things. If we speak about the education, we're all losing schools, we're all losing teachers. If we speak about local control, how many of you have local control in your cities?
Yeah, right.
Right. So, you know, I first had to say I was an ex-offender. I know what it's like to be behind the wall.
Thank you.
I know what it's like for them to beat you and throw you in the infirmary where you can't call home to your loved ones until you heal up. Right now, I had received a phone call from Southwood State Prison, whereas one of our residents, in my opinion, they said that he had a heart attack. But I had a chance to see the body of the individual. And it did not display anything of a heart attack. It appeared that his nose had been broken. It appeared that he had blood streaming out of both sides of his ears. His mustache was bloody, and the inside of his mouth was bloody as well, too. That, to me, is one life too many, whether it's behind the wall or whether it's here on our streets in the city of Camden or all across New Jersey. I think that the state needs to start to take a look at the transitioning of our returning residents back into their respective cities. We realize, as being ex-offenders in the city, we don't like to use that term, so we try to change that term as returning citizens, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because when we come home out of these prison systems, we are still obligated to responsibilities. Even when we are inside of the prison system, most of our parents that are out here, or should I say our child's mothers who are out here, are forking the bill while we are behind the wall. They are the ones who come to the visits. They are the ones who keep the money on our books. They are the ones who hold down the household while we are serving our time, quote unquote, being rehabilitated. There is no rehabilitation inside of the prison system, because if it was, there would be something gained for us when we return back home. I struggle every single day of my life trying to gain employment, and it doesn't make it any much easier when I'm fighting on the front line for our people here in the city of Camden. We have to have a serious conversation about what we're doing for our residents who are returning back to their respective cities. I mean, we all know that in a city like Camden, we have a 64% poverty-stricken city. We are 64% poverty-stricken. So that means that a population of 77,250 residents, that means damn near the whole city is not even working. So we have no tax base, we have no tax revenue here, right? So when you talk about those who are returning back to the city, who are coming out of the prison system, what do they have? They can't live with their mothers who are on Section 8 subsidized housing or TRA, because these are government-assisted programs that keep the homes broken. It's systematically done, because if the mother was caught with the father inside the home, she loses the program. Now we have homelessness with the mother and the father and the children. We can't ignore it no more. We can't allow this can to continue to be kicked down the street anymore. Something has to be done about mass incarceration. Something has to be done about recidivism, and something has to be done about nonviolent offenders who are getting harsh sentences. Harsh sentences. Sell a couple bags of heroin or a couple bags of crack or even a couple bags of weed. you're getting sentenced, you're starting off sentences 3 flat or 5, all the way around the board. And one of the problems that we come to know in this state is that we know that parole knows who they're going to parole. And they know who they're going to give hits to. So what we're basically saying is, you know, we can't allow this to happen anymore. We want the ability to be able to begin the process of preparing our returning residents back into their respective cities. You know, things like, you know, IDs and things that are relevant, birth certificates, social security numbers, all those things that are relevant to gainful employment. I mean, think about it. You have children. You may have been working at a job that might have been paying you $12 an hour. You could have been making minimum wage. But you're not in the home with that mother. So you have an obligation to pay child support. When if you go behind the wall, your child support don't stop. It doesn't stop. It continues to rise and rise and rise and rise. So then they put all these laws on you, whereas though you can't get a passport, you can't do anything, you can't even leave the country, as long as these things are hindering. I, for one, I cannot sit back and allow this government to dictate what I'm going to do with mine, to dictate to me about how I'm going to see them, because they're not living in Camden. They're not living in Patterson. They're not living in Newark. They're not living in these conditions that we are living in. They don't look at us as being people here, but when we return back here, we still have the same obligations as everybody else that's a law-abiding citizen here in Camden. We still have to pay, or all across New Jersey, or all across the nation. We still have to pay child support. We still have to pay bills. We still have all these obligations. So just because we made a mistake in our life at some point, and there's nobody perfect in this world. And those who are in the blue collars, they just haven't got caught yet. They're responsible for a lot of what's going on to us right now. And our forefathers turn in their graves to see us sit the way that we sit and do nothing. Why was there a reason for Malcolm or Martin to even die if we're going to allow corporate entities to come in here and take our schools and fire our educators? Remember there was a time we couldn't walk down those streets. We couldn't drink out the same water fountain. We damn sure couldn't go to those same schools. So they fought for us to have those things. When do we as a people, and I'm not just talking, I speak first to our people, but then I talk to every minority that is in these same conditions, whether you're black, blue, or brown. It's the same way, all the way around the board. We all live here. When we go to prison, they link us up the same way. Now, inside the prison system, yeah, we go off into our different, you know, our different places with our kind. But the bottom line is, if you in Southwoods, if something happens in Southwood prison, all the Camden gonna get together. It ain't gonna be just the blacks. It's just how it goes. So at what point do we hold those who are in these positions accountable? We have no local control whatsoever here. And it was devised so that they can continue their bidding. And if it meant that they needed to sweep the streets or do whatever they could do, that's what they did. We simply saying that we are awake. And this is a new generation. I don't know what they were doing prior to when I came up, but I just got educated in a lot of this stuff, and I just have to say this because it is no way possible I could be this intelligent right now, because my life didn't display anything of what you think you see with me right now. I was on these streets, and I was getting plenty of money. Trust me, plenty of money. But the harsh reality of life set in when I had to go behind that wall and come back home and touch these streets. When I come home and I see the mom, electric bill is like $2,000. Water's off. Bills are behind. She facing homelessness because she done ran out of the assistance that the government was giving to her. So what am I supposed to do as a man? Am I supposed to sit back and allow mine to be homeless? I'm going to do whatever I got to do for mine. I'm going to do whatever I have to do for mine. Does it make it right? No. But what other alternative do we have? You can't ask a man to get up off the streets if he doesn't have anything to get off the streets to go to. Because how you going to tell me how to take care of mine? You want me to pay that child support, right? You want me to pay back these fines that you imposed on me for being taken care of while I was behind your system. And you called yourself rehabilitating me, but you never rehabilitated me. I rehabilitated me because I had a blueprint when I came out of that prison system. That was for my life. And the harsh reality is when I came home and I seen everything that was around me that I couldn't fix. So the revolving door for us stops. We're not taking this anymore. It's just not going to happen. They have to do something to deal with the re-entry of returning citizens into their respective cities. Because we all know the gig is up, and this is a new generation. See, me coming up, I'm responsible for what happens to the generation tomorrow, because I played a part in the generation that's coming up now. When I say I played a part, that means I wasn't consciously thinking about what I was out here doing. I was out here doing what I was supposed to do for me and mine. But I didn't think about the effects it was having on a mass amount of people who may have known me or thought I was the coolest and had swag to the ceiling. Oh, that's G money. But look at me now. I don't have a thing to show for all of that money I had. Not the drugs, not the money, not the cars. The girls, yeah, they still there. They still there, but the money ain't there. So for me, we can't. We simply can't. And I know I was a part of that problem. So now I have to be a part of fixing what happened. And if we're looking at this thing holistically, then we know that this is one fight all across the board, even with all of us who are surrounded in New Jersey. Remember, we did the same thing when Ras Baraka was elected in Newark. We got behind him because we knew. And what I liked about what they did was they didn't start with just the residents. They got the educators behind them, because it is the educators who are teaching our children coming up. These are traditional educators who have taught us. We've gone on. So when we say fight, this is all connected, because this is all surrounded around their political agendas. So when we say stand up and fight for certain issues, and we telling you that this is one voice all across the board, that's exactly what it is. Because they're closing schools everywhere. The same way with the police. How many of you have local control? I'll have to ask the question again. How many of you have local control in your respective cities? So that's the first thing to breaking us up. Take away any and every ability we have to have a say on anything. That's the first thing. Then you come for our police, because if you come and take our police away from us, they don't make up the faces of our community. So that's a tactic of keeping us in line. How many of you have all one-ways inside of your cities? Where your streets are all one-ways? See, that's a form of keeping us boxed in. They shut our bridges down. All that. Keeping us boxed in. And I'm just telling these bastards we ain't on nobody's plantation no more. And we are no longer crabs in nobody's barrel. You ever notice a crab in a barrel? There's always that one crab or two crabs that want to come up out of the barrel, but there's always that one crab with that claw. What do? He grab the leg of that crab and he do what? Pull his ass back down. Pull him back down. And we simply said, no, we're not having that no more, because we are smarter today. We have to have a real serious conversation with this government. And it's going to take each and every one of you in this room, even those of you who are in college. Because to have the real identity of what we're facing, it's one thing to be a part of something. But unless you truly, truly, truly know, everybody wants to say like Camden is the most dangerous city in America. But that's what the media portrays. That's what the media portrays. But look at all of you here today. Do you guys feel scared? You understand what I'm saying? This is what the media portrays. They don't let us tell our story, or they keep it out. They don't know that it's people like Monique Ragsdale or people like Alan Cannon and myself who run tirelessly up and down to the State House. We lobby for legislation on bills that directly and indirectly affect us, because we are awake and we see what's going on. Corporate America has its own agenda, and it started with us from our strongmen. Just look at your birth certificates. Look at your mail. When you went to school, you was taught how to write your name. Somebody tell me. No. When you went to school, how did they teach you how to write your name? They said the first letter of your name was capital and everything else is what? Lowercase. The first letter of your last name is what? Capital. And everything else is what? Yet when you receive something in the mail, what is it?
Same thing.
No, it ain't. It's all capital letters. Pull out your social security cards. How they track you, look at the back of your social security card, all red lines, all red numbers. Your straw man was born a long time before you even came into existence. Your mother didn't know about it, your grandma didn't know about it, nobody didn't know about it. But now we know. Now we know. So America got a problem on their hands if they think for 1 minute that we're going to continue to allow these things to happen with us. At some point in time, the cream of the crop must rise to the top all over New Jersey and all over this nation. Because the only way we're going to fix this is if we have a unified stance. And it can't be a stance that's going to be geared towards one color. Because you have folks that are facing the same thing here. It's worse on the Latinos here. They got it too. They got the same issues going on that we do. And now I can tell you, because when we all go to prison, guess what? They treat us all the same. They treat us all the same. So I hope if you don't take anything from this today, that you understand the mindset of a person who has been incarcerated, the mindset of someone who is out here every single day. I'm living proof of how they treat ex-offenders. I did not know my life would be the way that it is right now. Listen, I can tell y'all a million stories, and I didn't even know that I would be in my life what I am right now. But I can tell you for sure that I'm part of the solution. And I cannot and I will not sit back and allow this. So when we have these types of forums, because this is not going to just happen in Camden, this is not just happening in Newark, we're launching this campaign all across New Jersey, and hopefully we come up with some sort of plan that's a model for the entire nation to deal with recidivism and those that are returning back into society. Because that is what's defining why we have so much violence. That is why you see the numbers so high. Because people are hungry. People want to eat, want to be able to take care of their families. And they can't. They can't get welfare. They can't get food stamps. If you was out here willing to deal and you got distribution charges on you, you get nothing. You're just like a savage here. But they want those bills paid. They want those fines paid. They want that child support paid. And if you don't pay it, they're going to put you away. So where is the turning point for those? Where is our second chance to really show what we are as citizens in America? We just cannot kick the can down the street anymore. We can't, and we will not. So I thank you guys for at least, taking this time out to come out here and, have this conversation. And when we get to the question and answer the question, please don't hesitate to ask questions. You're not going to know these things that we're trying to do if you do not ask the questions. So thank you guys very much.